They say that walls have ears, but in abandoned places, they have memories. Memories of things that were never meant to be seen by the living. Today, we're diving into 3 bone-chilling accounts from urban explorers who found more than just dust and decay. From a floor that shouldn't exist to a face in the vents, these stories will make you think twice before entering a forbidden building. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and let's begin.
I'm an urban explorer, but after what happened at the Blackwood Asylum, I'm done. This place had been closed since the 50s. I was filming in the basement when I heard it, a metallic scraping coming from the vents. I thought it was a raccoon. I pointed my flashlight up and the beam hit a pair of eyes, but they weren't animal eyes. They were human, wide and bloodshot, staring through the grate. I froze. Then a voice whispered my own name, Alex. The thing is, I was alone. I hadn't told anyone where I was going. The scraping got louder, faster. Something was crawling through the ducts toward the opening right above my head. I ran. I didn't look back until I reached my car. When I got home and checked my footage, I realized the person in the vent didn't have a nose, just a smooth, pale patch of skin where a face should be. It's been a week, and now I hear that same scraping in the vents of my own apartment.
Deep in the woods of Vermont sits an abandoned Victorian mansion. Locals call it the House of Sighs. I went there to take some cinematic shots. In the attic, I found a single easel with a canvas covered by a dusty cloth. Naturally, I pulled the cloth away. It was a painting of a man sitting in a chair, but the face was blank, just a dark blur. I felt a sudden freezing chill. I took a photo and left. But when I looked at the photo on my phone 5 minutes later, the painting had changed. The man in the portrait now had a mouth, a wide, jagged grin. I looked back at the house from the tree line. In the attic window, I saw him, the man from the painting, sitting in that exact chair, looking out at me. I blinked, and he was standing. I blinked again, and he was pressed against the glass. I didn't wait for a third blink. I drove until the sun came up. Now, every time I walk past a mirror, I feel like my own reflection is starting to look a little bit more like that painting. The Grand Belvedere Hotel has been a hollow shell for 30 years. It's 16 stories of rotting wood and broken dreams. The strangest thing? The elevators still have power. I stepped into one just to see if the buttons worked. The panel only went up to 12 as the 13th floor was omitted for luck. But as I stood there, a sticky red button labeled 13 began to glow. The doors slammed shut. The elevator didn't go up. It felt like it was dropping into an abyss. When the doors finally opened, the hallway wasn't made of wood or plaster. It looked like organic tissue, pulsing, warm, and smelling of copper. I saw shadows moving at the end of the hall, figures that looked like hotel staff, but their limbs were too long, bending in ways that shouldn't be possible. One of them turned, tipped a tattered hat, and started sprinting toward me on all fours. I mashed the closed door button until my fingers bled. I made it out, but sometimes when I'm in a modern elevator, the lights flicker, and for a split second, the floor indicator shows a 13, and the doors start to open. The silence of an abandoned building is never truly silent. Which of these stories sent the biggest shiver down your spine? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've ever had a terrifying experience while exploring, I want to hear it.
If you enjoyed these tales of the unknown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps the shadows grow, and it ensures you won't miss our next descent into the dark. Stay safe out there, and remember, some doors are locked for a reason. See you in the next one.